Welcome to TikTok Shop Insiders Podcast, your source for actionable news, trends, and strategies. If you want to build a thriving brand or creator presence on TikTok Shop, this is your essential listen. Let's get started.
All right, hey everyone, welcome to TikTok Shop Insiders Podcast, your source for the latest news and strategies on TikTok Shop. I am your host, Ivan. So glad to be here today. Sharing some news. I've been kind of hot and heavy on the TikTok Shop side of things, and as always, lots of moving parts on TikTok Shop. Just kind of want to get into it and share kind of the last couple of weeks. This podcast a little delayed just because I wanted to see what would be the result of the kind of latest ban news happening. And I guess I'll just start off with that. So great news. The ban has been lifted for another 90 days. There wasn't a kind of deal to be had. Trump extended the lifeline of TikTok and TikTok Shop for at least 90 days, right? And so this is the beginning of April and, 90 days, 3 months from now. So great news there. Another kind of big item and pretty cool thing that I'm doing is LinkedIn Lives. So I've noticed, I get a ton of questions, hundreds of questions a week probably from all over the place. And I think a great way of sharing that knowledge is through LinkedIn Lives and kind of just 1 hour a week or every other week, setting aside a time to kind of answer everyone's questions. We did our kind of first kind of impromptu one last week, and it was great. I answered a lot of questions on strategies, and people found it very beneficial. So kind of another way for me to give back, share my knowledge that I'm getting. So LinkedIn, you can find me there, and I'm not quite sure how it shows up, but if you look at my post, then there should be kind of a registration for the next LinkedIn Live. So I think we're planning one next week on Wednesday or Thursday. So today's the 10th, so next week. Another thing I want to do and share this idea and maybe get some feedback from you guys is 100 days of TikTok Shop tips, right? And so short form video obviously is, TikTok Shop is doing well, but as far as, educating other sellers on TikTok Shop. So, I've heard of people doing sprints on, creating one piece of content every day. And this is kind of my way of doing that, right? So I was thinking about creating, short video, TikToks, LinkedIn videos about how to sell on TikTok. So just tips and tricks and basically everything I share on this podcast, but a different format, right? So keep a lookout from that. And if you have feedback or questions that you want me to answer, go ahead and reach out to me and I'll get them answered. So cool. Keep an eye out for that. Another thing, I think I talked about it once or twice in the past, but a pretty big project that we're working on and that we've been working on is Affiliate Academy HQ, which is my other podcast where I interview the top TikTok Shop affiliates, right? And some of these affiliates are amazing. They've got like millions of dollars of GMV, hundreds of thousands of dollars of GMV. There's this one college student that I interviewed, right? So she's early 20s, like maybe just turned 20, and she was doing TikTok on the side, and she's figured out a way to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month through TikTok Shop affiliates, right? And so I interview her and dozens of others to kind of get their story and strategy and hopefully extract some things that will help a beginner affiliate, right? I'm creating that community, that free community for people to join and be better affiliates. So I'll have a link for that below. And, kind of speaking from the seller side and from the agency side, as I was onboarding clients, I would basically start from scratch with every client, right? I would do outbound outreach for affiliates, get them in the system, get them making videos, and it was great, right? It was still proving itself, but I was doing the same thing for every onboarding client, right? And so I'm like, well, how can I be smart about this? Well, let me go ahead and create a community that I can reach out to again and again and again so that we can cut that middle or that kind of that starting point out, right? That rough starting point for brands, right? Onboarding a client. Now we have direct relationships with affiliates so they can onboard faster. And maybe the better side is that they're vetted. When you do your outreach for the first time, you kind of have a wide net and you kind of, there's good affiliates, bad affiliates and great affiliates, right? And so now we kind of have them in our system, we have them classified, and we can reach out to them, accordingly, right? So kind of speeds up the process as well as, that level of affiliates generally higher than if you're kind of start out scratch and reach out. So Affiliate Academy HQ, kind of check that out. If you want to connect with some affiliates, reach out to me as well. But yeah, it's great for the affiliates as well, right? Because we have brand deals, right? And so not only are they working for commission, but we can give them $1 per amount of videos, right? So I'll give you $1,000 for 10 videos or $500 for 10 videos, whatever it may be, right? And so it's kind of win-win for everybody, right? Win for the brand. They can kind of speed up their process, get high quality affiliates. The affiliates kind of have, that flat fee commission, right? A problem in their world is they make a video and it doesn't sell, right? So they put in the work, but if they already get a flat fee up front, it kind of helps with that. And then they have the option of kind of, the upside of possibly getting viral with the video, right? And then, for me, it's beneficial because it kind of lessens the headache of trying to find affiliates for those brands. So yeah, Affiliate Academy HQ, keep an eye out for that. Reach out to me if you want to connect. So yeah, I think another, piece of news in the last, aside from the extension of the lifeline of TikTok, is partial refunds, right? And so TikTok Shop now allows sellers to issue partial refunds without needing a full return. Ideal for like damaged or low value items, and so that's pretty awesome, right? And so the thing I take away from this is customer satisfaction is number 1, 2, and 3. It's the most important thing, right? And I say that because if you get an unsatisfied customer, they're likely to leave a negative review, right? And you want to avoid as many negative reviews as possible to, obviously for kind of conversion rate purposes, etc. And so this is a way, and most products in general, like if there's a return, they're not likely to reuse it. It's kind of trashed anyway, right? So there's no need for them to do a full return or kind of do that whole process. So if you can offer that refund right away, you can, take over that customer support hat and just say, hey, we want to support you as much as possible, give you what you need. In turn, would you consider leaving us a good review or leaving us a review? And so, yeah, it's kind of, before you have to wait for the customer to return the process, and then it's kind of like a lengthier process. So that's a kind of positive there for sellers, I think. My next piece of news was the TikTok ban kind of getting extended. And, I think everyone was a little bit less scared this time around just because it happened before and it, didn't turn into a ban. I had my reservations just because of all the, trade tariff, and hopefully, I know my thought was like, what if they drag TikTok into this, back and forth, right? Like, yeah, we'll tariff you, you'll tariff us, but you can't have TikTok, or we won't buy TikTok, right? So I saw it kind of maybe getting dragged into it, but fortunately now we have a 90-day extension on that, and hopefully there's a deal that can be made, and still optimistic that a deal that can be made. So yeah, we have another lifeline. We can delay our worry a little bit longer. And yeah, brings us to our main part of the podcast. I've been in a ton of client meetings. I don't even remember kind of how many per week, but yeah, it's talking with clients all the time, right? Brands of all different shapes and sizes, products of all different shapes and sizes, and I kind of see it all. And one of the I met with a brand owner who's excited to launch on TikTok Shop, but after looking at their product and looking at their kind of their product and their brand and their positioning, it was clear to me that it wasn't the right fit. And also, like, the number one question that I get from all these brands that I interview, it's like, what's my likelihood to succeed on TikTok Shop? Or do I have a product market fit for TikTok Shop? That's the number one question by far. And so, I wanted to dedicate a podcast to kind of help, share my thoughts on what's a great product, right? On TikTok Shop. And so, yeah, I'm sharing 8 tips that turned, 8 tips to kind of classify what's a great TikTok Shop product. And yeah, it starts with like the price range. You'll see on TikTok that it's typically an impulse buy, right? You're not going to get $1,000 product on there. You're not going to get kind of multi-$100 project, although there is, but rarely, right? And so for me, that sweet spot is in that $10 to $40 range, under $100 for sure. And then yeah, kind of like you're thinking about an impulse buy, right? Someone who's browsing, they see a product, they're intrigued, right? And they kind of maybe put it in their cart. They see other videos and they're like, okay, what the heck, it's on sale, I'm gonna buy it, right? So when that happens, $10 to $40 range is pretty good. Another kind of pricing metric that I look at is how are you priced versus your competitors, right? And I say that because if you're priced double what your competitors are, even if you have products that are high quality and made with better materials, if your product's double the price, that's a losing battle, and I'll tell you why. So let's say you're fortunate enough, you get the affiliates, you get those pop-in videos, right? And they're great, they get millions of views. That person that sees that video is still in consideration phase, right? So let's say you have a serum, like a face serum, skincare serum, and it's a higher end serum at like $50. Most serums on TikTok Shop, I guess higher quality ones as well, are like $20-$25, and then you'll even see some, I guess, no quality, no name ones for like $9, right? And so if you're looking at a $9 serum and a $20-$25 serum and then a $50-$60 serum, it's like kind of a no-brainer, right? And so that, again, you're fortunate enough to get a pop-in video, you see your $50 serum and like, oh man, people are like, oh, I think I need a serum. They see that serum video, but TikTok's algorithm is so smart that it's going to show other serums, right? Other face serums that like are in the same, category, but they're cheaper. So they're going to get more of your videos, right? Your other affiliates, they're going to get more of your competitors' videos, or even going to get the cheaper ones. And so, if your price is kind of out of kind of realm of a normal buyer, they're likely to buy, someone else that's cheaper, right? If, you got them to the idea of serums with your initial video, but you weren't able to convert because you have a lower price competitor, right? So again, not end all be all. There's definitely people who are on the higher side of products pricing that do well, but that's kind of, we're talking generalities here. So up next is demonstratable and TikTok worthy. This is maybe kind of no brainer, but if you're able to demonstrate the product, if you're able to use it, put it on your face, right? These affiliates, in my Affiliate Academy HQ podcast, one of I was interviewing someone yesterday, and she said every item she gets, she's a skincare person, and she wipes it on her face and she kind of demonstrates it, and like look at the before and look at the after. And so yeah, and tons of the top products are a hairbrush or a vacuum, or a makeup brush, etc. So it's really demonstratable through a video. Like, here's my before, here's what I'm doing to use it, and here's my after. One thing that kind of not necessarily puzzles me, but maybe not as demonstratable, but that's killing it, is supplements on TikTok Shop, right? And that's more so like telling a story, right? So TikTok worthy, like telling a story, like it's again before and after. You can't demonstrate it. Maybe you could like take the pill, but like you can't, it's not a immediate understanding of what's going on, right? But you do have storytelling as part of that, right? So if you have a product that can tell a story, right? Like Nello's like huge on TikTok Shop right now. They did 2.85 million in the last 30 days, which is crazy. It's a super calm drinking mix. So kind of like liquid IV plus supplement to kind of make you feel better, right? Magnesium, etc. But yeah, so it's not necessarily demonstratable, right? You're just drinking, but you could talk about how you feel, right? And all that, right? So yeah, demonstratable, TikTok worthy, showing a story, kind of satisfying to watch as well, right? And a big product is peeling masks and lip liners, right? And so that's very appealing and entertaining to watch. So something that you can kind of see on a video and tell a story with. Up next is number 3 is trend driven and seasonality. So a big kind of recent news story is like the elections and the polarizing kind of elections that were going on. And I saw this super popular product that was it was talking about it's a newsletter that was mailed out to people, and it said, congratulations for supporting Donald Trump, or congratulations for supporting Kamala Harris. And so what it would do is kind of a prank gift, and it would you the person would get that mailed to your to your, person of interest, like let's say your grandpa and he was a Trump supporter, and you mailed him a Kamala Harris, like, thank you for supporting Kamala Harris. He's like, what the heck is going on, right? And so that product made hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so it's capitalizing on the seasonality of, the election process that happened. Additionally, I know some things that are popping off recently is Easter. So Easter's right around the corner. It's actually here soon. And, pre-made Easter eggs are huge, right? So thinking about seasonality, I'm pretty sure as summertime comes around, you're outdoors and swimming, and as school time comes around after that, kind of back into kind of school mode, maybe something like lunch items or thermos or, school preparation items. So seasonality is also pretty huge, right? And if you're, let's say, a summer brand, you don't necessarily want to start in May or June. You want to start as early as possible to get those affiliates, to get those videos made, and kind of gain that momentum prior to the season, right? So number 3 was seasonality. Number 4 is solves a problem or has a unique feature, right? So this is kind of, I don't want to say every item, but one that I've kind of noticed this with, and I mentioned earlier, but kind of like support, right? So like back support. I have backaches. I use this now. I don't have a backache, right? Another one that I've seen is like shoe insoles, right? So I'm on my feet all day. My feet hurt. I have these. My feet don't hurt anymore, right? So solving a problem that you might have. I alluded to this earlier, but supplements, right? If you have, I can't sleep at night, well, I take this gummy, it helps me sleep at night. So like solving a problem. And what's great about TikTok Shop is that you can tell a story. And that's what makes good affiliates is they can tell a story within like a quick period of time, like less than a minute, right? And so, they can tell that story using your product and solving a problem with your product, right? So that's number 4, solves a problem and has unique feature. Number 5, higher profit margins and affordable shipping. Lightweight and easy to ship, low cost to produce. I think, first step of this process is, you as a brand don't know if your product's going to succeed, right? And so if you have a big product like a bed, it's going to cost a lot of money to ship that to the affiliates, right? And you're going to need hundreds of affiliates to make that happen. Although your product cost might be large, the shipping cost might be large. And that's kind of a sunk cost that you need to think about, right? And so, if you have a barbell set, that's going to be expensive. But like if you have an envelope, like my example before, it was a sheet of paper that showed support to a political party. Well, that's cheap shipping, right? And so you can send out a lot of those, right? Your product costs and your shipping costs are relatively low. So I would say, higher profit margins to kind of is, no brainer, of course, but, like skincare, your higher profit margins give higher commissions. So those affiliates are then enticed to make videos for you, more videos, higher quality videos, right? And so, yeah, like shipping is huge that I found, smaller the better, lightweight is going to go further. Another item is already performing well on TikTok Shop. Look at your category and see, is there someone in the space that is killing it already? And how are they doing it, right? And taking a look at their viral videos and seeing, hey, this is kind of like my category, and I think I could do this, and I have this, differentiator that's better. Another thing I've been thinking about pretty deeply recently, it's like there were last year, rewind last year, this time when TikTok was relatively new, there are items and categories that were popping and products that were killing it with $1 million a month. And like, they're not to be found now, right? But who's to say that category and item can't pop again, right? And an example for me is like colostrum. There are certain brands that are at the top of the game last year on TikTok Shop. They were doing millions a month on TikTok Shop, but this year they're not. The competitors are taking over, right? For whatever, I think my biggest kind of idea of why that's happening is they stopped their affiliate, right? Their affiliate outreach and stopped filling that top of the funnel. And so it kind of went down and they're not able to get that momentum again, right? And so all to say, like, is there a product in your category that's killing it? That's already proof of concept for you, right? Maybe if they did it, I have a chance. And here's how I'm going to do it better. So yeah, kind of already performing well on TikTok Shop is number 6. Number 7 is strong affiliate appeal. Easy for the affiliates to promote with storytelling and demonstration and high commission rates, right? And so this is maybe a little bit of maybe repeating of what I said earlier, but more of the affiliates side, right? How is your brand? How is your product kind of making the affiliates excited to use your product, right? And so you do that through high commission rates. I mentioned before, high profit margins, but also that in turn, high commission rates to affiliates, as well as your product is easy to storytell and demonstrate, right? So if a affiliate has a product like kind of something that's not so sexy, right? They're less to make a product about that or to make a video about that, right? And higher commissions is always what they're looking for as well. Another item that's kind of awesome in the DTC world is replenishable repeat purchase value. Skincare, supplements, consumables are huge, right? Typically on TikTok Shop, you'll see your kind of P&L, your profit loss be slim or close to zero in that first purchase. But if you can get them, if it's a repeatable product like a supplement or skincare, it just makes that value even more, right? And so that makes for a great, we're getting to number 8 now. So that this is like not necessarily a non-starter, but definitely, adds to the value of like what's a great TikTok Shop product, right? And so to recap, we have number 1, which is impulse buy, price range of $10 to $40, demonstratable, TikTok worthy, tells a story, unique. You can see it on the video very well. Trend-driven seasonality, number 3, making sure that, if there's something during the summer, you prepare for it early. And number 4, solves a problem or has a huge feature, right? Being able to storytell and problem solution. This is why you should buy it. Number 5, higher profit margins and shipping, right? Keep shipping and profit margins so you can give higher commissions so you can kind of sample out more. 6, already performing well on TikTok Shop, right? Competitors doing well. No reason that you can't. Here's my added benefit. They were popping. They're not popping anymore. Here's my chance, right? Already performing. Number 7, strong affiliate appeal, right? How do you make sure that you stick out to the affiliates? What's the story that you can tell them? How do if it's a Kim K brand versus kind of a no-name brand, they're likely to do a Kim K brand, right? So how do you promote your story to the affiliates, giving them higher commissions as well? And then number 8, kind of like nice to have, but in totality of the DTC world is replenishable repeat purchase, right? That's a great kind of characteristic of a TikTok Shop product that's killing it. And actually, after looking at this list of, I have Callo data analytics tool for TikTok Shop, the top products, I'm looking at the top 100 products, and characteristics that I just thought of when I'm looking at this is, I'll give you a bonus. A bonus characteristic of a TikTok Shop product is your primary buyer a house mom, right? I would say taking a look at these products on the top, 20, 25, it's a house mom can buy it, right? So like yerba mate, tea, skincare, supplements, cake circles, which is like a boob cover, a brush, more supplements, but like 19 out of 20 items on here are like made for a woman to buy. So yeah, I guess number 9 is do you see a woman buying this either for themselves, mostly for themselves, but also for their family, right? So yeah, that concludes it for today's episode. 9 common characteristics of a successful TikTok Shop product. Again, I have LinkedIn Lives. I think my LinkedIn bio is going to be in the show notes. You can find me on there and ask me any questions that you will have. We also have a free community on Slack. You can reach us at TikTokShopInsiders.com. Find the link there. And that concludes it for us. And I'm grateful that we've got an extension on our timeline of 90 days, and that's awesome. And I'm here to kind of continue that. So Yeah, thank you for joining in today. Don't forget to leave a review, please. I'm doing this, and it'd be great to hear some feedback and what you guys think and help promote the show. So appreciate it. Catch you guys next time. See ya.